So today I am taking a look at the Sainsmart Genmistu Cubiko, an affordable desktop CNC machine with some very nice inbuilt features. Now, I am a little bit late to the party with this one because it was originally released last year by a Kickstarter, so I am playing catch up. I was obviously tied up with only CNCs and Carveco Academy. So in this video, I'm going to cover off some of the specifications of the machine, some of the projects and experience I've had with this machine, and hopefully give you an indication of the type of person this machine is going to be useful for. So let's get started. So let's start from the outside and work our way in. Now the footprint or dimensions for this machine is 300 millimeters wide, 335 millimeters deep, and about 318 millimeters in the height itself. And obviously, as you can see with the encasing over there, it is a fully enclosed unit where the front or face basically can be taken off and put to one side. Now it obviously is a small machine in terms of its weight. It's just under 8 kilograms. So it really is very easy to pick up and move about should you need to. In regards to the work area, it is 150 millimeters wide, 110 millimeters deep, with about 40 millimeters on the Z-axis movement. And the clearance for material that you can actually put within it is about 55 millimeters. So that's basically the thickest piece of material that you can run on this machine. All three axes are being driven by NEMA 17 stepper motors. This is via a lead screw, and they're all running on linear rods. The spindle that comes with the machine is a 75 watt motor that runs up to around 10,000 RPM. This can be upgraded to a different spindle, but I'll move on to upgrades and accessories a little bit later in the video. The machine is also fitted with limit switches on every axis. If you're not familiar with limit switches, they have a dual purpose. One is the safety aspect. It stops your machine trying to drive any of the axis too far, and once it triggers those switch, it will cause an alarm and stop the machine to move. But the second feature of it is it allows you to do what is known as homing. This is where your machine basically touches the limit switch on each axis, and so it knows the position that the spindle is in. This makes it much better for starting your jobs, repeatable work, those type of things, and ultimately is a nice feature to have on any CNC machine. Coming back to the spindle for 1 second, this is fitted with a standard ER11 collet and a 1/8 inch collet insert. So that basically means that the bits you can run on this straight away are 1/8 diameter, but because you can interchange the collet inserts, you can go up to as large as 7 millimeters in diameter with this particular ER11 collet. So it will take your 1/4 inch bits should you want to use them on this machine. The enclosure itself has a couple of nice benefits to it. The first I'll highlight is the limit switch on top. This is there as a safety feature so that if you go to open the enclosure up, it will pause the job or stop it. Now obviously, should you want to have the lid open, you can do something like tape it down or 3D print a clip that I have done here, which just keeps that suppressed down. So it does mean that you can run it openly if you want to. It is also pre-lit with a light at the back of the machine. Again, this just helps to light up the work area and make everything easier to see as you are machining. Now, obviously, the enclosure itself has two primary benefits. One, to minimize the amount of dust going everywhere when you are machining, so therefore keeps it all contained and a little bit neater. But second is the amount of noise. It helps to minimize how loud this machine is. Now, what I would say, as long as you're not machining anything too aggressive, this probably is quiet enough to have in something like a small apartment or a small bedroom. Now, at the very front of the enclosure down here, you'll see this little screen and a touchpad at the side of it. One of the things I really like about this machine is it can actually be controlled 3 different ways. You can use the offline controller, you can use the Genmitsu app on your phone or tablet, or you can run it traditionally through a USB cable to your laptop or PC. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about the offline control app first. One of the things that is actually kind of fun about this is it is detachable, so you can just take it away. It's on a spring-loaded cord, so it doesn't mean that you have to always sit down there and poke it. You can almost do it like a controlled gamepad. Now, the features within this are actually very nice. Not only can you run jobs directly from it by putting an SD card in with the files on that SD card, but you can also do various things with it, such as being able to do height maps directly from the offline controller. You can obviously control all the 3 different axes. You can set the 0 for the Z height. So basically all the functions that you would want to do on an offline controller can be done within this, including changing the girdle settings should you want to, which is a very nice feature that you actually don't often see on offline controllers. And I've also provided very good video and written instructions in order to use the controller as well. Now, the other two ways to operate this machine, as I just touched on, is either by downloading the Genmitsu app, installing it on your phone and tablet, and you can connect to the machine via Wi-Fi. Or alternatively, you can use a USB cable and run it via the more traditional programs that you will have seen, such as Candle, UGS, G-Sender, or Open Build Controller. Now, a unique feature that I don't think I've ever seen on a machine this small is the inbuilt Toolsetter, or the probing feature. Now, the way that this works is there is a probe at the back of the bed, and you can tell the machine how thick your material is, put your bit into the collet, tighten it up, run that probe feature, and it will automatically know then the height from the bed up to the top of the material in order to start the job. So it just speeds the process up, helps improve accuracy, and as I say, is a very nice inbuilt feature for a machine this small that is budget friendly. Now, when it comes to getting up and running, especially for those who have never had a CNC machine before, it could not be easier. Everything is built and ready to go straight out of the box, other than plugging in the power cable. They've also done a really good job, as mentioned earlier, with supplying different video guides and written guides to get going on some of the software, as well as test files, obviously, that you can either run directly from your PC or laptop or from the offline controller itself. So from a beginner's point of view, it really is as easy as could possibly be to get up and running with this machine. Now, the price for this machine at the point of recording this video is £399 or $449. Let's quickly cover off accessories and upgrades. Now, I mentioned at the start that this is fitted with a 75 watt 10,000 RPM spindle. Now, there is an upgraded spindle for this that goes up to 20,000 RPM. This is advertised as a high-speed, low-noise spindle. From my understanding, the actual power of the spindle is about the same. It just can reach a much higher RPM range from that upgraded spindle. Now, this machine can also take a laser. You just need to make sure it is the right dimensions for this particular holder, and that can obviously be connected to it. Now, they have allowed for a 4th axis port on this machine that you'll just see up in the top right-hand corner. At the point of recording this video, I don't believe they have released the 4th axis for this machine, but we are expecting it to come at some point this year. And should you not want to actually run this either as a router or as a laser, there is an attachment that can fit into this, which will also allow you to fit something like a pen. So basically, you could use this machine to do drawings for you. Now, in terms of my own experience with this machine, I have to be honest, I was a bit nervous given that my machines lately have been getting bigger and more stronger, so I was unsure how I was going to get on with a smaller compact machine. I've had a lot of fun with this, with the projects that I have been doing. Now, obviously, after getting it out the box and getting ready to use, which was super simple, one of the first things I always do is basically a speed and depth test. The way this works is you set different depths of cut each time, gradually getting faster, to give you an indication of what the machine is capable of doing. And I did this in MDF, softwood, as well as some oak. And I have to be honest, the results were surprising. It cut deeper and faster in the oak than I was expecting from previous experience of using something like a 3018 machine. So I was very happy with those tests that I've done. It's actually given me some better information to recalculate the settings in only CNCs for this machine. So after doing those initial tests, it gave me a good indication of the speeds and feeds this machine was capable of, and I moved on to doing some projects both on camera and off camera. Now, one of the projects that really stood out to me was this 3D relief carving over here in the sapel wood, which is a branch of the mahogany family, I believe. Now, it did this as a single finishing pass. No roughing, no step down, the full depth of cut in one single pass. Now, that is pretty deep for that type of wood, and I was genuinely surprised that it was able to handle it. Okay, the step over was extremely small to achieve that, but it still left a brilliant smooth finish, and that has not been sanded. That is straight off the bed as it is there. So very impressed with that project. One of the other highlights from the projects I was doing was epoxy tooling foam. One of the reasons I like this material is it really allows you to get fine detail. It also indicates how precise the machine can be. So using something like a V-bit in this material, you're going to get amazing quality and detail within your carvings. And as you will have seen throughout this video, I've been putting different clips of some of the materials that I was cutting, such as acrylic. It actually cut the acrylic out quite nice. I could have changed the step over rate a little bit for the name itself. It actually made it quite a fluffy texture on top, which was pretty cool, but not actually the effect that I was after. Also did this like thin plastic gold covered piece of material over here just behind me. Whilst it visually looked okay, I could see that as it was machining, it had almost bowed it slightly the way it had clamped down. So in one aspect, it does kind of look cool, but probably wasn't the results that I was expecting from it. That's probably more user error, as I should have taped it down, not clamped it down. Now, a lot of people will be looking at this machine for PCBs. Now, you will have seen me cut PCBs on this channel before on other machines that were more expensive. This is the cheapest machine that I've ever done it on. I will say I'm not an expert. I typically just run pre-programmed files, which is exactly what I did on this machine, using the Sainsmart test code in order to do a PCB that can be run directly from the offline controller. Now, what I did was use the height map feature that is also inbuilt to this. And basically what that does is touches the top of the PCB and maps out the surface of it. So if there are any discrepancies, it can apply that to the file that it is about to machine. Very nice feature to have built within it. And once you've done that height map, you can then move on to actually do the machining. And I was very impressed with the results from this. Very clean cut, nice job in doing it, especially for the price of this machine. So you've seen it machine a few different materials, and there's a full list on the Sainsmart website. But one question that always comes up, can this machine metal? Now, the first thing I'm going to say, if your primary objective is just to machine metal, this is not the machine for you. You do need something that is stronger and sturdier. But yes, this can machine metal. I had mixed results with it. When I was trying to actually do a harder aluminium with something like an end mill, it was struggling a little bit, and ultimately I could see the vibrations in the machine and it wasn't leaving the best of cut. But when doing things like engravings or going very shallow with the cuts and a few different other experiments, I was getting better results with it. So basically, as I just said, I would not be buying this to machine metal all the time, but maybe if you wanted to do things such as light engravings, then you may get away with this. So let's move on and talk about issues or possible changes. Now, I could honestly say I didn't have any issues to do with the machine itself. When I was machining the ripple piece for the first time, it did kept stopping and disconnecting. This turned out to be the laptop that I was using. As soon as I switched back to using a PC, it ran flawlessly and all the jobs were brilliant. So I'm very happy about that. In terms of changes or upgrades, what would I like to see? One or two minor things. The biggest is probably that encase enclosure over there. That obviously lifts up and off to be separate. Now, for me, I would prefer that to be fixed and hinged to the machine. So for example, 2 hinges on the top of the case, you lift it up and over. I just think that is a better solution than taking it off completely, because that runs the risk of being damaged, falling off your workbench, cracking, that type of thing, where if it was fixed in position and it can be lifted up and over, I think that would be safer. Other than that, the only other suggestion I would potentially make to Sainsmart is I can't see any reason why this could not have what is called a pass-through hole. Basically, a panel on the back that can be removed out and you can pass materials through. This minimizes the issues of having a smaller work area. So for example, put a piece of material on that is much longer, machine a little bit of it, slide it across, machine a little bit of it, and keep going so the material just sticks out the back. Now obviously the material cannot be too heavy or else the bed wouldn't handle it, but it does mean that you could potentially machine larger pieces of material by just having a little cutout hole on the back where the panel can be removed. So something for Sainsmart to think about if they do a revised version. So who is this targeted for? Well, I would hope that's pretty clear by now, but it is those after a smaller compact machine for things like smaller workshops, apartments, bedroom, or basically people just wanting to machine smaller items. Yes, the work area on this isn't the largest, but you can still achieve great results with it. Obviously, the full enclosure does mean it's going to be quieter, contain dust, and some of the nice features like the auto probe and basically being ready to go straight out of the box without doing anything means it's going to be ideal for beginners. So it ticks a lot of boxes in those categories. So if you are a beginner looking for a small enclosed machine with some nice features for under $500, then this should definitely be top of your list. So that is the Sainsmart Genmistu Cubiko and my overview and review of the machine itself. There will be some links down below that will always take you to the best available price for the machine itself. And obviously, if you've got any questions, do let me know in the comment section down below and I will do my best to answer them all. Thank you all very much for watching. I really hope you found it useful. Final thanks as always goes to my patrons. I'll see you all on the next video.